Good morning. It's day 5 of our Pittsburgh Adventure. Today we're going to go downstairs, have a little breakfast in the dining room. We haven't had a sit-down breakfast down there. We only had the buffet. Then we're going to catch an Uber over to the Warhol Museum, the Andy Warhol Museum. We're super excited about that. Andy Warhol's been a name in our world since we were very young. His infamy with celebrity, with his pop art, I wouldn't say modern art, more like pop art sort of work, is going to be super interesting, and we're going to go check it out. So Andy Warhol, even if you don't think you know his work, you probably do. He's the guy behind those bold, colorful images of soup cans, celebrities, and everyday objects that somehow turned into high art. But Warhol didn't start out famous. He was actually born in 1928 in Pittsburgh to a working-class immigrant family. As a kid, he had to deal with illness that kept him home from school a lot. That's actually where his things started. He spent hours drawing, collecting photos, and getting completely obsessed with popular culture. Fast forward a bit, he moves to New York City and starts working as a commercial illustrator. And this is important because Warhol did not come up through the traditional artist path. He came from advertising, which explains a lot about what happens next. In the 1960s, he basically flips the art world upside down. He takes things people see every day, like Campbell Soup cans, and says, yeah, this is art now. And people were like, wait, what? But that's the whole point. He believed that art didn't have to be rare or elite, or even handmade in the traditional sense. He used techniques like silkscreen printing to mass-produce images, almost like a factory. And speaking of factories, he literally had one too. It was called The Factory. It was a wild studio in New York City, where artists, musicians, celebrities, all just kind of collided. Think creative chaos all day, every day. It saw the start of one of the most influential bands in rock history, the Velvet Underground with Lou Reed, and was a draw for many celebrities and artists of the day. And Warhol himself, he became just as famous as his art. He worked with icons like Marilyn Monroe, turning her image into pieces like the Marilyn diptych, which is still one of the most famous artworks in the world. But here's the deeper layer. Andy Warhol wasn't just painting celebrities. He was commenting on fame, consumerism, and the idea that anything could become iconic if it was repeated enough. He once said in the future, everyone will be famous for 15 minutes, and honestly, with social media today, that feels way more real than it did back then. Warhol kept pushing boundaries like film, music, and fashion. We've already mentioned the Velvet Underground, but he also created a lot of independent films. He would do things like create film screen tests for famous people, and they would just sit there in front of a camera for 3, 4, 5 minutes, and he would just film and observe them being them. They had a neat setup in the museum that would allow you to do your own screen test in the Andy Warhol format. I did one. Here's what it looks like. So with his genres of film, music, and fashion, he did not stay in one lane, and that's part of why his influence is still everywhere. Andy Warhol passed away in 1987 from complications of surgery for gallbladder, but even though he's gone, his impact never really left. So next time you see a brightly colored portrait or a piece of art based on something ordinary, just remember, there's a good chance that Andy Warhol was the influencer behind it. Okay, we'll do a quick tour of the museum. Basically, the museum is a 7-story building. In the first story, they have a cafe and a gift shop and a service desk. And then you take the elevator to the 7th floor and you start at the very beginning when Andy was young and work your way floor by floor through his life. Come along.